Okay, it looks like I am now recording, so we are ready to go. For everyone that has not worked with me in the past, my name is Jameson Reynolds, and I am the training coordinator here at the Library Corporation. You all are actually sitting in on the first this first webinar in a series of webinars that we are offering. For some facets of our software. A lot of you that have been with us since 3.3.5 or maybe even 4.0 have gone through one of our upgrade webinars, which has been a part of your upgrade package. We are now looking to expand that, so we will be offering webinars more than just on the facets of the upgrade, but specifically more pieces of our software. In addition, we may also be adding a webinar series for everyone that is going to be implementing LS2 Pack and LS2 Kids as well. That's something that we should be rolling out here within a few weeks. So we got a lot of changes going on at the training department as far as reaching out to everyone, and I hope you all will find this beneficial. The purpose of today's webinar is going to be focused on LS preferences. If you were part of the upgrade, you will have already gone through a portion of that where we looked at everything that changed from the previous version to the new version. What today's session is going to do is we are actually going to go through all of the facets of preferences so you can be aware of where everything is. The way that the training will go is I will share my screen. I will explain everything that we are looking at, and then about every 5 or 10 minutes or so, we'll actually come back to the screen that we're looking at now so we can have a discussion that kind of goes back and forth. What I will then do is ask everyone to type in their questions in the chat box. I'll then repeat that and go ahead and answer the questions as well so everyone can hear that. And this should probably take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. And like I kind of stated before we started recording this session, that I will be recording this session and then posting this on the online training campus as well as the knowledge base. So at any point you can go back and watch this training again. I will apologize if at any point during this session my voice starts to go a little hoarse or I just start sounding a little distorted. I don't know where you are in the area of the country, but where we are, it is prime allergy season right now, and unfortunately I'm getting hit by it. So I just wanted to go ahead and preface now. And without any further ado, let me go ahead and share my desktop, and we will get started with preferences. Now, preferences is the web-based angle for the administration features of Library.Solution. In order to get to preferences, you will go to your server's IP, and most likely after you go to your server's IP, you will enter in a :8084/LSP, and that will get you to this screen right here. Okay. What we're going to then do is we will then log in with whatever applicable username and password that you've been using. And you'll see once you get logged into preferences, you're going to see how going across the top of your screen you have different aspects of preferences to focus on. The first piece is going to be the calendar. The purpose of your calendar is to set, let's look at weekly calendar first, okay? The purpose of the weekly calendar is to go to a specific branch of your library or a specific location within your system and set the standard hours of operation for your library. Okay, so you do have the ability that if you are closed on Sundays to go ahead and just mark it closed. That's really important for libraries that are finding on business days and not calendar days. This is really important to make sure that Sundays won't be fined for overdues or you won't ever have anything due on a day that you closed. If you actually want to set a day to be open, all you have to do is select the day, choose library is normally open this day of the week, and you have the option to either click Save or Save to all locations. So if you are a multi-location library system, this gives you the ability to go ahead and knock out all those changes at once. One thing I do want to point out is when we get this question a lot, what does this mean? What does closes the next day mean? Okay? Really, a lot of folks don't use this feature. The only reason why anyone would ever use this feature is if you're library is actually open into the next calendar day. A great example for this would be if there's any college libraries or any public libraries close to a college. And let's say you might have Midnight Madness during finals week, okay? This would allow you to make your Tuesday technically roll into what would be the calendar Wednesday, okay? So that's your weekly calendar. Your daily calendar allows you to go into what is generally the norm. So let's look at Avery, okay? Let's say that with the Avery library here, let's say I am generally open on Mondays. However, on July 5th, we're going to be closed this year because the holiday falls on the 4th, okay? If you ever need to, let's say, go in and close a specific day, all you have to do is select the day or days that you're looking to modify, and then again you have the ability to click Save, or you have the ability to click Save to all locations, and that will be able to modify whatever's in the calendar on those specific days. Okay? So again, that saves you from either having to worry about overriding the check-in date if you had a holiday come up. You won't have fines accrue on these days, and you won't have things due on those days. So it just kind of helps you stay ahead of the crowd and make sure you don't get all those calls calling in complaining about getting charged a nickel overdue when the person didn't have to be. Okay? The next section we're going to take a look at is going to be the location setup. Now, the reason why it says location setup is even though you may have multiple locations in your system, these options are going to be specific to a specific branch or location within your system. So you have the ability to go in and change settings here and not necessarily have them affect the entire district, okay, or the entire system. Your grace period, the way the grace period works in our system is, let's say for Fort Laramie here, or Laramie here, you can see that we have a grace period of 5. That means if an overdue item is checked in within the first 5 days, there will not be an overdue fine for that item. However, once you get into the 6th day, there will be a total of 6 days worth of fines, okay? So it's not a forgiving necessarily if you go past the grace period, but if it's within the grace period, you won't fine the borrower for the overdue. The check-in lag period refers to that shelving status. So if you were to have a 1 here, that would just simply mean that any item checked in will actually show as being shelving for the first day as opposed to being available right away. So if a borrower comes up to the desk and says, I wanted to read something but it says it's shelving, that lets you know to maybe check the carts waiting to be shelved before you go out to the stacks looking for it. Okay? Your request expiration is 180 days. That means that if a borrower places a request on a material, it will not expire for the first 180 days. Your card expiration for 730 days, that means if you go ahead and add someone to the system, their card is not going to expire for another 730 days. Okay? 30 days after that, let me rephrase that, I'm sorry. So you've got 730 days for a card to be good. By default, we have our card expiration warning set to 30. That means that if someone gets within 30 days of their card expiring, they will have a soft block on their account, letting whoever's working in the circ desk know to go ahead and update the information and then go ahead and give them more time on the card. Your OTF prefix is referring to on-the-fly items or titles getting, titles getting added to the system. If you do allow on-the-fly titles, the control number will begin with OTF. Okay? Anyone that's using the OTF upgrade program are probably already aware of the importance of this. Anyone who has access to cataloging is probably aware of this too. It makes it really nice, simple visual reference point to see OTF there in the control number. For those of you that do not want to show borrower photos in circulation, uncheck this and you won't see it. Delete OTF on check-in means if you do check in an on-the-fly title or item, the circ operator will get prompted to do that. Force OTF validation is not very popular. You would think it would be more popular because basically if you are going to put in an on-the-fly title, this is forcing you to check the ISBN number to make sure it's not already in the system. However, what we've found is if the person putting in the ISBN is not putting it in exactly, let's say they only have access to the 10-digit and the 13 digits already there, or they're trying to put in the ISBN and in the MARC record it has the ISBN with an X after it, it's not going to take it, and that sometimes creates problems. So a lot of people leave this unchecked. Do not store the ID of last borrower to have an item. A lot of folks like to see the borrower ID of the last person to have it. So let's say I am checking out my books on tape and I realize I'm missing my CD number 3. I can see the last person who had it to track them down. No items on title hit list. If I do a title search and there's no items associated with the title, it'll say no items. If you want us to track loan history and fine history, this is where you would turn that on for that location. And on top of that, your loan history clearing gives a staff person the ability to clear loan history for borrowers.